Last time with Whims of Fate. Um, Erden talked to Chris about neurology,
Yes.
and the sailors were whispering about something. But even with a perception check of 23, Rada could not tell what it was. Eventually, it was discovered that they were Norse pirates. And we did battle with them. It was very one sided. Because some individuals decided to lob flaming coconuts at one ship, and a jar of, I think, phosphorus? No,
No.
no, it was potassium.
Potassium.
A jar of potassium in a jack o' lantern carved watermelon at the other. The remaining ships saw what happened and ran away. And daytime came, and we heard a land tow from the crow's nest. And this week.
Okay. So you have made it to land. And what you see is a large city that seems to be primarily made out of sandstone or limestone, or maybe a combination of the two. It's hard to tell. Everything's kind of the same color. But everything is built out of blocks. Most of the buildings are pretty low set, but there is quite a massive one that seems to be right in the center of town. And off in the distance, you can see giant pyramids. And there are lots and lots of people milling about. On the docks, there are lots and lots of ships that are docking and undocking, getting loaded, unloading. This is probably one of the biggest places you've been.
How would this compare to Atlantis?
Much larger. We're talking, so like Atlantis is like Salt Lake City, and Sekhet is like New York. So very big difference.
Welcome to the metropolis.
Pretty much.
I left my heart in Metropolis.
um,
So is our ship actually at the dock, or
it's in the bay.
Okay.
So, sorry, I was just about to. Um, so Captain Biddy looks kind of surprised, just like, what? She's looking around. She just kind of, she looks confused, but she just sort of shrugs and she's like, you know what? I need to repair my ship. We're pulling in. So she starts basically steering the ship towards an open dock. And it takes maybe 20-ish minutes to get docked. So she's got to wait for an open dock and then get everything tied down and all that. But after about 20 minutes, you are officially docked in Sekhet, Aaru. And you are free to leave the ship if you wish.
What's the
Nah.
weather like?
It is sunny, and it is hot, and there is not a cloud in sight. Very dry. And yet, it's like very dry, but like weirdly humid at the same time.
So, Erden is basically having a similar experience that Iseline had when going to Lair.
And yeah, you're all gonna see Aaron wearing a set of armor that is very different from everything else he's worn because it's the set he got from the one shot like 3
Oh, the
years
linen
ago.
armor?
That is a good point. Rada will also switch to that armor.
This is familiar. Vaguely.
I don't have that armor in my inventory right now, but I will just assume that I have it on. Oh, wait, no, there it is. It's in my bag of holding.
It's fine.
I just have my leather armor on, and it's uncomfortable.
So, how much do any of you want to bet that, with it being morning, that Tong is still asleep?
I don't want to lose money.
I don't gamble, so it doesn't really make a difference to me. But if the tongue of now is like the tongue of the future that we know, she might be asleep. Highly likely. I don't know. You know her better than I do.
Alright, she is going to use a sending to uh, tell Tong that they have arrived in port, but that's all that they know.
Okay.
And okay.
Do you want to see if do you want to go find her first, or do we all just want to look around first?
Well, let's wait for a response. And speaking of which, high or low?
Hot.
That is the first roll with this set, and it's a D100. What did you say, Marco?
High.
I got so that was a 16. So, yeah, I'll send someone to come get you and bring you to my place.
Hold up.
Hmm?
Rada, when you go to send your spell,
Hmm?
you get this weird static, like when you can't get a TV signal.
Ah, okay. So nothing gets through.
Oh,
All right. Well, that is odd.
Wait, the sending didn't work?
No. Let's we can ask around.
I mean, I can use locate object.
That only works within a certain range.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 feet. Like, this place can't be that large.
Oh, baby.
We start in the middle, and then we work our way around.
Say that to the people with the short legs.
Well, let me ask you this first. What would you even try to locate that would be on her?
Her spell book?
I mean, that's fair. I don't think this is going to work, but you're welcome to give it a try.
Okay. Well, I won't do it here, because Tong doesn't seem like the type of person to live near the docks.
That's fair. It doesn't look like there's any houses near the docks.
A bunch of warehouses for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
To the center
Place
of town.
does seem really big, though.
Chris is giving you a funny look. I don't think you're grasping just how large this place is. You remember how big Atlantis was, right?
I only saw a small part of it, but yeah, sorta.
You can fit like 6 Atlantises in Sekhet, Aaru.
Oh,
Hey, that's huge.
that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think your spell's going to work. Unless you want to spend all day doing it.
How
I
is
can
it
only
so
cast it
big?
like 3 times.
What were you gonna say, Brina?
How is it so big?
There's a lot of people who Egypt, which is where a lot of these folks come from, was like the place to go for a long, long, long time. We're talking centuries. Everyone went to Egypt to learn things.
It's more or less the center of the world, Brina.
Yeah.
Not in a literal sense, but in a figurative one.
And the boat brought us here.
Yes.
Yes. And just to give you an idea, you see the big building right there?
Yeah.
That is the Library of Alexandria.
The library?
Ooh.
That whole building is a library, and you could fit like a whole, like 2 cities in there alone. It's a huge library.
Rena would understand the concept of a library, wouldn't she?
Yeah, I would think so.
After Atlantis shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, just for the heck of it, that that's like a universal constant. Libraries. Whether it's a place or a person may vary, but
Gotcha.
it's a hub of knowledge. I mean, I suppose, to be fair, technically the Library of Alexandria also hosts like a university. and several shrines to different goddesses, but it's still huge.
And trying to find the residence of a single person is going to be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Yes.
Yeah, that was not a fun week.
You've actually done that.
Yep.
Hi.
Oh, apparently it was supposed to be character building.
Did it work?
What?
Gave me hay fever.
I don't think that's how it was supposed to work.
Does that sound like as good of character building as digging a bunch of holes every day?
Oh, that was almost chosen, but apparently that would track dirt everywhere.
The library has a list of where people lived. I'm pretty sure Brina does not know what a directory is, but that's basically what I'm thinking of.
Well, it also holds census data, so.
Yeah.
Which Egypt would have had because
Mm-hmm.
it's thought of everything. I mean, you should be able to just go to the Census Bureau.
Census Bureau?
Yeah. Oh. And it's a city department that like keeps track of the numbers of people who live here. They don't do that where you guys are from, do they?
I mean, we kind of all know each other, so we don't really have to.
That's fair. You're probably from someplace much smaller, so you don't have to worry
She
about
is.
that.
Chris, you've been to my hometown.
Oh,
Remember? We left you there.
yeah, you're right. See, I've got a terrible memory. I'm sorry.
Is that why you always write things down?
Yes. If I don't,
Well, I hope you never lose your notebooks then. But no, you've been to my hometown. You've met my family and my best friend. Like you've seen where I'm from, so you obviously understand.
yes.
Censuses are probably not something that we necessarily have to do.
Right. What about the rest of you? You're not from small places like that, right?
I mean, not small, not small as that we know everyone, but not enough that we needed a city authority to count the same number of people.
I mean, I knew what you were talking about, but only after you described it.
Um,
But Rada does know what census is because it's what the Romans did.
Fair enough. And that's probably why Erden knows what it is without knowing what it is too. Because they would have also been doing it all over.
And it's like, oh, they imported that from the Romans. They thought it was a great idea, and then they started doing it. And it's like, we need to count the number of people, but we never said the name of where it's stored.
But usually they'll have like their names and their addresses and like everyone who lives in the household. So I would try there.
That
I don't know
sounds
what
like
it is here.
that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
I do want to go over to the captain before we disembark, just to thank her for trying to get us where we were sitting and letting us stay when circumstances were a little bit weird.
It's my pleasure. Just be careful.
Thank you. I hope you guys get safely to where you were supposed to go.
I have a feeling things are going to work out just how they're supposed to. God's willing. Good luck with whatever it is you're all doing.
Thank you, Captain.
I will say this to everyone. We can try the Census Bureau, or at some point or another, she is going to go to that building over there if she's not there already.
If the Census Bureau is on the way to the library, we could do both. I mean, I don't necessarily want to be done more than I have to be, but
It would probably be helpful just to know it anyways, in case any of us ever get lost.
Then, do you know any of these streets here?
Do you want to know where the police department is?
the what?
The police, the security.
The people that we worked with in Atlantis.
Okay.
They're called police. Chris is he's struggling. He's just like, how do I?
I can't remember if we called them police when we were in Atlantis or not. It's been so long. We probably did, and Brina might have just forgotten what they're called.
Which is totally fair because it's a foreign concept.
Well, also, it would have all been written in Greek or Atlantean, which only India and Rada would have been able to read.
That too.
Can ask for directions.
Somebody please give me directions. Sorry, I really love finding team up.
This chapter in my Chinese class that we've been going over was all about asking for directions.
Important.
Yes.
Alright.
Let's go to the library. If we manage to happen to come across the Census Bureau, we'll ask.
Yeah.
So, question.
Answer.
Do any of you read hieroglyphics?
I guarantee you that is a no.
No.
Neither does Chris, so it'd be fun.
The only person that would is not in the party right now. And that's only because she's been here long enough.
So I will say, as you're walking through town, there are signs on several buildings. Those signs are written with pretty pictures. Some of them look familiar. Some look like they're birds. Some look like they might be like shepherd's crooks. Some look like they might be some sort of fan or paddle. You're not quite sure what it all means, but they're there. It means something. You'll see that some of the walls are even carved and painted, and they have beautiful paintings. And some of those figures that you've been seeing are in those paintings and such. They all look kind of like two-dimensional. They're all kind of sideways and stuff. They look cool, and they have some vibrant colors in there because the Egyptians probably use like malachite and azurite to make blues and green paints.
Hieroglyphics would definitely have been painted.
Oh, yeah.
So everything's very stunning and pretty.
We're probably doing that touristy thing of, ooh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
There'll be pictures of like animals, and most of you have never seen them, but there's like one with really big ears and a really long nose. There's a really, really tall one with knobs on its head.
I don't know what these are, but I want to find them.
There's one with a big horn.
Dragon. Another dragon.
Unicorn?
Big unicorn.
I know that word, but I'm not sure if it works here.
Tooth, is that
Nah,
a
it's not a unicorn.
Oh, but it has one horn.
It's not a unicorn.
Yeah, he's the expert.
It's when?
Since when? Good question.
Because the unicorn has split toesies like a cow. It looks like a horse, but it's got hooves like a cow, and it doesn't have a tail like a cow. It doesn't have a tail like a horse either, and they're white. They're always white. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. They're white.
Fascinating.
Okay. Chris, does any of this look familiar to you? I'm asking you because you seem to know more about this place than we do.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's a crane. But I can't tell you what these big things are. And I can tell you that that's a bigger version of the little mammoth thingies we have on my island, but I don't think it's called a mammoth. I think it's called something else, but I don't know what that is. And they're mean. And they're like, they're really, really big. But I mean, I guess they kind of depict that in the picture. For people
Which picture is he talking about, though?
Are you talking about the elephant?
The elephant thing.
Which picture is he talking about, Jen? I'm not sure what you're describing.
Elephant. Remember, there were the mini elephants, the island mammoths, mastodons that were on Atlantis.
Yeah, the pygmy elephants that I talked to.
Yeah. So he's describing the bigger ones that none of you have seen.
Okay.
Wait,
Wait, those cute little things that I talked to with the long noses.
Yeah. We call them
They get
mastodons.
bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot bigger. Like, people can ride them.
That is
What?
awesome.
I could have rode the ones that you guys had.
Well, yes. But I'm talking people like me could ride these.
I'm
Or
sure
like,
Brina and Tina could ride them. We would just look like the humans from, Lord of the Rings that are riding the elephants in that.
The Oliphants.
the Oliphants. Jake.
Oliphants.
And I don't know what the tall things with the long necks and the spots are. I've never seen one of those.
On earth is a neck that long?
I'm gonna name it George's until someone says otherwise.
Don't do that to them. They don't deserve that.
So look at the leg. It's incredibly dumb.
That's not very nice, Aaron.
Okay, fine. If I meet one, I'll personally apologize.
Thank you, and I'll translate for you.
Yeah, with a neck that long, it's a wonder how they don't pass out from drinking water.
I will say, as you're like arguing this, you guys aren't really focused on where you're like walking at this point because you're like talking about elephants and giraffes. And who's leading the group? Who's up front?
I'm not gonna lie, Tooth is probably up front.
I think Rada would be in the front since she has the most experience with this kind of climate.
I will say at about the same time, Tooth and Rada, you will walk into something large and furry. It's going to grunt. Let's see.
I have a question, just because depending on what this is, if when Tooth runs into it, does he fall over?
Yes, and then promptly he gets spit on.
Come on.
That's not great. But you have run into an animal that's pretty tall. It's got wide, flat feet, kind of floppy looking face. Droopy looking
Is
face.
it the unicorn's cousin Tooth? Because
And
the
it has a hump
horn,
in the center of its back.
I know there's not a horn, but the feet are the same.
Brina, do you just want to see a unicorn at some point?
Yes!
Brina, I'm gonna tell you this. Unicorns are goats.
Do I have any concept of what a goat is?
Yes,
Yes.
you would know what a goat is.
We've probably
Goats
encountered a few.
Goats are not. No.
That is, they are more related to goats than they're horses with goat feet. They are technically goats.
Just because something has goat feet doesn't make it a goat. Are you trying to tell me that is a goat?
No, that is clearly not a goat. But I
Yeah,
am
it's not a
telling you,
goat.
I have talked to a unicorn, and they're like, "No, we're not horses, we're goats." Very stubborn about it.
Rada has probably seen at least a dormitory camel before. Taking a look at
Give
their
me-
range.
Brina's just going to.
Give me a nature check.
Wait a minute, I know what it
Wait,
is.
check.
Nature.
13.
You're not entirely sure where or what it is, but yeah, it looks familiar, vaguely.
Do I recognize this? Because in our one shot, I was the camelry. I should know what this is actually.
Well, no, that.
Oh,
That
I
is,
want a wisdom check.
Wisdom check.
Yep. Because this is having to delve way back in the memory box.
Etchern's gonna do that as well.
Huh.
That is a 6 for Brina. Tammy's gonna be so disappointed in me. Because this camel is so dead. But
It's
not
13 for
well, his name wasn't Cammy.
So, Erden, it's niggling at your mind like you feel like you've seen this before, but for the life of you, you can't like recall anything about this animal. And unfortunately, Brina, it's more of a blur to you.
Was
You have
Tooth
a
part
feeling-
of this one shot at all?
no, he wasn't.
Huh? No, he wasn't.
No, okay.
Tooth don't know what's going on. Tooth has no
Give me a
concept.
second. I want to go grab my notebook to see what the name of that camel was, though, because I want to talk to this thing, regardless of what it is, since I can't remember what it is.
Uh-huh. It'd be really
it's-
funny if you remember the name, but not like the name of the camel, but not anything else.
It's that one animal from oh, what was it? Damn it.
You know what this is?
I think so.
It's like
Zori.
yeah, it kind of like nudges Tooth, like it's trying to figure out what it is with its foot.
The camel's name was the camel's name that I wrote was Zori.
Nice.
Zori the camel.
Brina,
So I will
Brina
say,
talked about it.
you remember the name of the camel. You don't remember what it is or where you saw it or anything else. Just that you're pretty sure you've seen one of these before and its name was Zori.
I know I've seen one of these. I know its name was Zori, but I can't remember what it is.
Brina, don't
Hello?
you can talk to animals. Why don't you just ask?
Yeah, I
the
know. I'm
camel?
going to. Shut up. Good morning. Hi. I'm Brina.
What's
I'm
a
sorry that
breed?
we ran into you.
What's a Brina?
Well, Brina's my name. I'm Menahune, but Brina's my name. Does it make sense?
Yes. What is this thing? And he like taps Tooth again.
That is Tooth. He is a leprechaun. His name is Tooth, but he is a leprechaun.
He does not
I know
look like
does not look like what?
a tooth.
No, I will agree on that. He does not look like a tooth. I don't know exactly why his name is Tooth, but well, okay, that's the name that he normally goes by. I know his actual name, but he normally doesn't like you calling him that. Forgive me my impertinence, or madam. I'm not sure which one you are. Wonderful furry individual. Do you mind if I ask what you are? I believe I've met one of your kind before, and all I remember was your name was Zora, and I can't remember what they were. But they looked a lot like you. They were very, very nice. They let me write it, actually. I remember he spit on my friend because he called him the wrong name.
I'm a camel.
Camel. It's a camel.
Chris is just yes, a camel. That's
That's
still
what it
ridiculous.
was. Oh yeah, and you complained about one that was named
Zori.
Zori. Great.
I didn't complain about Zori. Swords complained about Zori because Zori spit on him because Swords called him Cammy.
Yeah, that was
Your
it.
name's not Cammy, is it, sir? Or oh, wonderful camel. I'm trying to be polite, but I feel very rude. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I missed what you were asking.
Well, I asked if its name was Cammy. Like, your name's not Cammy, is it? Please don't let it be Cammy. Don't want it to be Cammy. That's a horrible name for a camel.
Give me a high or a low.
Whoa.
It is Cammy.
Oh. Well, nice to meet you, Cammy. Zori, I remember Zori didn't like being called Cammy mainly because it wasn't their name. Nice to know that your name is Cammy. Definitely easy to remember.
The camel's just blinking. It's just like
Do you happen to know how to get to the library? We can't read the signs.
just follow the roads to the big building.
Oh, good point.
Ern will just slide over to Raj like, should we carry this on? I don't think this conversation's going anywhere. I like whisper it over.
Brina just like waves her hand at Aaron and is like, oh, Cammy, if I may ask a question. The creatures that are depicted on the wall, what are they called? The ones with the really, really long necks? I've never seen something like
Whoa, that's some hard hitting questions. Just kidding. I don't know.
Okay.
I've never talked to one before. I don't care. They got their heads up in the clouds.
I would think so with such long necks. Well, thank you for your assistance. I apologize that we ran into you.
If there's
Like,
one thing, if there's one thing that I remember about these things, they are very moody.
camels.
Watch out, they spit.
Well, yeah, Tooth had already spit at you.
Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
guess-
Megan was quoting.
I know.
Tooth is covered in spit. He got
Ew.
a lot because camels are much bigger than him. I think he would fit in its mouth.
He's been cleaning himself off or attempting to.
Well, it's continuing on to the library.
Okay.
It's a big building; it shouldn't be hard to miss.
Hi, Kenny. Thank you.
Go ahead and give me a survival since you're up at the front.
And guidance. Wow, even without adding her survival modifier, that's a 20. But
Well, that's more than enough.
yeah.
As you're walking along, you're gonna realize this city is set up on a grid system.
Nice.
All of the roads that are coming from the dock go straight to the library.
That was a 28, by the way. Total.
So you have to like veer off of the road. You just stay on this road and it will literally take you all the way over to the library.
Are like at the corner at the intersections are there like obvious signs that indicate what street names are called?
Yeah, they're in hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Yes, but Ern's trying to do the first thing about going into a foreign, dealing with a foreign language. Learn the basic number system. Try to see if it's numbered at all. Like if it's using First Street or if they're using proper names.
Oh.
Or they're doing the Utah system where it's in hundreds.
Ooh, do you have any skills for languages or anything like that?
He's learned 4, so you would think he would.
Hey, just go ahead and give me a intelligence check.
Bit much from him. That's okay, not bad. Total of 15.
Okay. What way? I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Yeah. So you actually start realizing there's a pattern as you're going from the dock. So like from where you ran into the camel, you catch sight of a sign and it has some of those pictures, but then it has 6 lines. So it's got 3 and then 3 below. So they're kind of stacked on each other. And then you get to the next junction and you see 4 lines stacked on top of 3. And then you get to the next junction and you see 4 lines stacked on top of 4 lines. And then you get to the next junction and you see 3 lines stacked on top of 3 lines stacked on top of 3 lines. Then you get to the next junction and you see just an archway. Then you get to the next junction and it's 2 archways. Or no, an archway line. Line, sorry. Yeah. So
I think we both looked up Egyptian numerals at the same time.
Aaron's like pulled out a piece of paper and is desperately trying to keep up. Like, yep, this is this one, this is this one, this is this one. Just trying to figure out. Okay, so how the heck does this? It doesn't matter if I even know what these align to with numbers. I just need to know the pattern so far.
I will say by the time you get to the library, you'll have reached the last like junction sign you'll see is 2 archways and then 4 lines.
Aaron probably is like drifting towards the back of the group, trying to write all this down and figure it out.
All right. So when you get to this library, it does not look like the other buildings that are in this area. This is architecture that many of you are going to be familiar with because this is Greco-Roman architecture. This is not the Egyptian style. And it's got huge colonnades, and there's several stories to it. You can see that there are sprawling gardens around it with various types of statues, and they're not all Greek or Roman statues. I mean, you can see some of the typical ones where they're dressed in like the ancient Greek togas, or you can see them in some of the ancient Roman garb. But you also see some where it looks like there's a person with the head of a dog. You'll see some that, let's see, look like weird, wow. You'll see some that have these like beards that look like they're like made of checkers, like lots of squares to make the beard. You'll see some that have some interesting like headdresses, and maybe like wings or something coming off of them. Really big earrings. There's a really fat dude sitting down cross-legged.
Of course, the Buddha's here.
Of course. So there's a lot of different types of sculptures just in the gardens around the building, even from right where you can see. And the gardens themselves are unique too. The plants that are planted here, Brina, you'd recognize some of them as palm trees. Seems a little weird that they're growing in a desert, but they're here. Rada, there are apple trees. There are conifers that Erdens used to sing at home. And he's shocked that they're growing here because they prefer cold climate. Like, why tree here? How?
The true cosmopolitan experience.
And there's heather that Toothies used to sing all over the place. So this library is like an amalgamation of everything you've ever known. Heck, you're pretty sure you can see a coconut tree.
As long as there's no palm spiders, I'm okay with it.
It should be okay.
Well, of course it is. George isn't here to go capture one.
And it looks like there are many, many entrances into this library. They're big archways that lead right inside.
Well, shall we? Or
Do
are
you think
we
they
going-
have? Do you think they have a purchasable book that's whatever their language is to Fae?
A translating book?
Yeah.
Now those travel dictionaries.
You want an Egyptian to Fae?
Travel dictionary, yeah. Or just wonder if that's even a thing.
You know what it probably is, Marco, is that they're written in hieroglyphics, but it's Fey written in hieroglyphics.
So are we going inside?
Yeah, I think so.
You walk through one of the archways, and it looks like initially there's like an outdoor hallway, and then you pass by that and into the building, and you walk into this enormous atrium. There are desks lined up all over the place with people standing behind them. These are some fairly copper-skinned people with dark hair. There's some who are paler skin and red hair. But they're all wearing these interesting headdresses that kind of give them this sort of half moon shape to their head. And they seem to be like the nicest dreadlocks you've ever seen. Like the hair is all braided up and all that.
So they're braids and not dreadlocks.
Yes. But they've got the thickness of like a dreadlock.
Okay, so they're just thick braids.
Yeah.
Sorry, when you say dreadlocks, I think of something very specific, and so that's why I'm clarifying.
No. I'm just thinking like thickness wise. But they look. It's kind of like the ropes that you get on the really fancy curtains, like the really thick curtains, and they have the braided rope. It kind of looks like that.
Mhm.
They're wearing lots of jewelry. They've got bangles all up and down their arms, big necklaces that drape over their chest. This atrium is at least 3 stories high. There's a big fountain in the center, in the Roman style. It looks like there's lots of coins in the fountain, as though people have been tossing coins in there, which is also kind of a Roman thing.
Seems like a waste of money. Out of character.
Yeah, just the way you said that made it look like you were like the classically evil villain.
Yeah.
Twisting your mustache.
One of the Egyptians will walk up to your group, and she smiles, and she's just like, "How may I help you?"
Yes, we have just arrived in the city, well, this morning, and well,
We want to find your census bureau and a way to read whatever's being written here.
We're also looking for a specific friend of ours.
Okay, I'm gonna find the Census Bureau. Wait, I don't know why my brain is short circuiting on this. One more time.
We would like to find the census bureau, a way to read whatever's being written around here, and I guess find maybe an employee of yours.
Well, yes, the Census Bureau is on the west side. It's a unattached building out in the gardens. I'd say it's not hard to miss because it says Census Bureau on it, but if you don't read hieroglyphs, that will be very difficult. Let's see.
Sorry, I had to step away, so I actually missed the last few minutes. Well,
You're good.
what was the responses?
I've only given one.
Okay.
The census is on the west side in the gardens. It's a separate building. She starts rifling around behind a desk. Unfortunately, I think we've handed out all of our translation books. There may be more in the travel section upstairs. And she'll pull out this sheet of paper, and it's folded, but it is a map of the library. And it comes in. Let's see. 7 different languages.
Okay,
You can flip through and find the page that's in your language or one that you can read. It's probably going to be the top one. So Chinese, Indian, so Hindi, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, we'll say Shavan,
Chinese,
and
Egyptian, Greek, Roman. Is that one?
And Persian.
Great, another map I can't read.
Yeah, Aaron like flips, Aaron takes it, kind of flips through it really quickly. It's all Roman to me, and then hands it to Rada.
There are actually 3 languages that Rada speaks in this thing, so she can speak Latin, she can speak Greek, and she can speak Farsi.
Nice. That's what it is. Farsi. Thank you. Nice.
And Indian would be, I think, Sanskrit.
Yes, sounds good. Yeah, that's, you know what I meant.
And as unlikely as it is, do you happen to know if a Tong Yao Wen works here?
I can't say I know that name. Sorry. Someone else may. I spend most of my time here at the front desk helping people find their way into the library.
Does that make sense? She was supposed to be a researcher.
Ah, well, if it's a researcher, you're probably going to want to go to the 3rd floor.
Opens the map, takes a look. Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy your time in Sekhet.
Thank you, man.
What's really funny is that she's definitely speaking Fae.
So how human does she look?
She looks mostly human. Oh, give me 1 second.
Might as well look up a name for her too, because Brina's gonna ask that as we're walking away.
Find. Oh, As I say, she'd look mostly human, except for the fact that she definitely has the head of some sort of canine. I dare say it may look like a jackal.
But none of us know what that is.
Nope. But at least the players can visualize what they're seeing. And then, hold on. I don't know why I just did that. Her name is
Jackie?
Onofria. No, not Jackie. Onofria. I'll spell it in the role play.
That is the first name I've spelled completely correctly.
So proud of you.
By hearing it.
Grow up so fast. That's because it's not Gaelic or something where it doesn't actually sound like it's spelled. Or, Germanic, Saxon. Angle names kind of suck.
Ooh. Well, I'm gonna have to tap out. I'm starting to fall asleep.
Okay.
See you, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Sleep well.
Alright, so. Where are we going?
To the first floor.
You are on the first floor.
Alright, so, where is it that we want to go? Well, who wants to do what?
Well, to find out where Tong is, if she's here, that'd be on the 3rd floor. And since we're already in the library, we might as well go first to the 1st floor and then to the 3rd floor.
Brina, idea?
Well, finding Tom sounds like a good idea, but if she's not here yet, I don't mind wandering around the library. I mean, I can easily go back and ask Onofria where the story books are, because I want to read.
I have a map. I can take us there.
True. But I can also ask. I mean, I like talking to people. Or at least I'm normally okay talking to people.
It's like Brina's much more of a people person than some of the others in this group.
Which is interesting. Well, I guess what's interesting with that is that I myself, I'm an extroverted introvert. I'm still very much an introvert because I gain a lot of I recharge by myself, but I do get along. I do recharge also with around people too.
Right.
Brina's I think Brina's like that. She looks more extroverted, but she's still introverted.
Yeah.
But she loves knowing people's names and learning people's stories, and so she's more at ease asking questions. Or, well, at least asking names and talking to people.
I will say, so Chris is just going to be like, well, it was great seeing you guys. I'm going to go get lost now.
Have fun.
Lost?
Yeah. There's so much to read here.
Good point.
Started.
I can't wait.
So,
see you later. Get too lost, Chris. Nice to see you.
Well, hopefully this time I can't just get thrown into a shit bottle by a tidal wave.
I hope that doesn't happen to you, though I guess if it happens, hopefully we'll see you again. I really hope it's not because of that we get to see you again, though.
Me too. And with that,
the guys don't like to repeat themselves.
Okay, I suppose we can do this. we'll go to the third floor, but if well, if we come across some things that we want to take a look at, we'll stop there. On the way. So, Erden, what do you want to be doing here besides looking for Tong?
Ern like pulls out his bag and literally pulls out a sheet of paper that has like on the top of it has several things crossed out, but has a lot more things written down on the bottom. Um, I have a lot.
Okay, so we should probably get to an actual librarian that knows their way around here before we do any of your things.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that I could use that translator and then like translate one of those maps and just kind of get lost in here for a few weeks. Like, there's a lot of things I'm so confused about. If I want any hope of figuring out what the heck is going to happen in the future, I would like to know some of these things.
Brina?
Well, give me half a sec because I wrote this down and now I can't remember exactly where we're going.
It's like, I know everybody sent stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but Rod is just doing it for in character.
Right.
I've written down more things.
I mostly want to research other stories, so I basically just want to sit and read. Like, I know that maybe doesn't sound terribly interesting, but to me it is. Because it's helping it'll help me perfect my craft just to be able to sit and read in the library. And then like some other like research topics that I have, but
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say. Please continue playing without me.
Okay. Well, I think if we're going to meet Tong, we should do it right now. That way she gets to know all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Alright, let's go see if she's here.
Do adventure.
She's
So-
going to lead us to the third floor.
There is a massive, like, double staircase behind the fountain that kind of leads up to the next floor. And you'll see that it will also be another large staircase, like double staircase that goes up to the next floor and so on. They're fairly wide steps, so it shouldn't be too hard for Rada to get up and down them.
For once.
Well, obviously they're used to having many types of
People.
people come through, so they want to make it accessible for everyone. They're also not very tall steps, so that when little people come, they can get up the steps without having to like climb up the steps. So they're short, they're wide, very sprawling staircase.
yay.
You would think with all this knowledge they would have invented elevators by now. Or at least some primitive version.
They do have those, except they're only for the disabled.
I will say it will take some time to get up to the third floor. Probably good like 15-20 minutes to get up there, just because huge staircases. We're talking like, huge floors too. But when you do get up there, the third floor has
All of us getting up there puffing and puffing.
a lot of open space with tables. There's lots of contraptions sitting on some of the shelving near the tables. Looks like there is like one of those Chinese number what
An abacus?
the abacus, thank you. words are they're super hard today, guys. There's some abacuses. There's some scales for weighing things in there. And there are just stacks and stacks of scrolls. There aren't really books up here, just scrolls, lots of papyrus scrolls. And the like. And there are lots of people sitting at tables. They're using some of the contraptions, writing and scribbling in some of the scrolls. Some of them are just reading the scrolls. Some of them are softly whispering to each other. Right away, you don't see anybody who looks like Tong. So I will need either yeah, it'll have to be an investigation. Whether you're choosing just to search or if you're going to ask someone.
Well, someone want to give me advantage, or well, do a
Yes.
separate roll?
What was the roll
I'll
of
give you that.
again?
Investigation.
I love giving the help action.
All right,
I have a 7. So for once, Brina's a little bit more intimidated by the people around her.
Investigation, that is
Or
15.
enthralled with the contraptions.
Huh?
Or she's enthralled with the contraptions. What did you get, Rada?
15.
Honestly, more likely the intimidated part, but
Okay. Sorry, one more time, Rada.
15.
15? Okay. Are you just looking or are you talking to someone?
She'll look and ask someone if there is a researcher by the name of Tong Yawen.
So the person you asked, looks like it's a satyr. He looks at you and goes, yes, there's usually a Tong here, but she's on sabbatical.
What does that mean?
Oh, she's on extended vacation. I don't know when she'll be back. It could be anywhere from like a couple of months to a couple of years, depending on what she's doing.
That does sound like her. Always the wanderer.
Yeah, man, if you had been here like 2 days earlier, she'd have been here.
Alright. Well, I'm. If she does happen to get here with, I think at least within the next day or two, tell her that Lord Stargazer is here looking for her.
Will do.
And with that, Rada is going to lead. She is going to enact or act as the party's guide to their different.
They're different. Okay. All right. What are we looking for first?
The travel
Well,
section to see if they have any more translators.
I was gonna say, we're on the research floor. If there's anything people, I mean, is this floor open to anybody wanting to research, or do you have to have special permission?
It's sort of an extension of the university. It's where students come to work on their projects. It's not really closed, but it's not
Open
really
either.
placed. Yeah. A lot of projects are just stored here.
Okay.
There's like open research throughout the library though, so if there's anything in particular, there'll be like tables, and a lot of them will even have writing utensils of various kinds for whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
So you'll have options. And the satyr just kind of smiles. You will not be left hanging.
So do we want to do the short list or the long list first?
Some
Short
of them
list.
must be in the same area.
Well, actually, no, that is a good point. We want to get the see if we can find a dictionary first.
Dictionary. There will be an entire section that you can see on your map dedicated to dictionaries and thesauruses and encyclopedias, that kind of thing. And it is on the 4th floor.
It's a good thing we've been traveling a lot because the Aussie dictionaries are up a nuts if at all.
Yeah, never skip leg day.
All right. It'll take maybe another like 5 to 10 minutes to get up to the top. And thankfully, you are on the side that has all of the dictionaries and encyclopedias. You don't have to go to the other side of the building. And boy, do they have a lot of dictionaries and thesauruses, and like some of these are, there's a lot in various languages, and it does seem like they have some like language dictionaries where you can open them up and you see 2 different languages in there. And if it's not one, if you open one up that isn't one that you speak right away, you'll be able to tell that they kind of match up. So you'll just have to see if you can find the languages that you are looking for. All right. So, what languages are we looking for first?
Fae.
Egyptian to Fae.
Egyptian to Fae. Probably like always Egyptian to something first.
Boy, these dice. I got a 4% on that. You get to the section where it's labeled and it is wiped clean. Everybody else had the same idea.
I guess we're not sharing them. What's the Roman one again? Let's find that.
Latin to, or Egyptian to Latin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 99%. You find lots of those. There's like an entire just like shelf, like not just shelf, like a whole shelving unit. It's just like Latin to Egyptian translation or Egyptian to Latin translation.
Really trying to get in on that prediction, aren't they? Latinization of the world.
I mean, they're ahead of the curve.
More out of curiosity than anything else, Rena's going to look for one for Oceanic to Egyptian, just more out of interest than anything else. Then maybe she can figure out what those tall neck creatures are.
That is a 22%. You're able to find half a shelf. So you'll be able to translate to your language.
I'm just going to grab one of these and carry it with me in case the books that I want to read are not are in Egyptian.
Ern will look for one in from Egyptian to Saxon.
Ooh. That's an 89%. Still ahead of the curve there. They're expecting things from the Saxons.
They're just like,
So, yeah,
phonic would be larger.
you'll find, like, almost a full, like, shelving section of translation books. So you can get them in various sizes if you want, like, a pocketbook. You can get a pocketbook.
Ern tries to find something that's more along the complete translation size that he can still carry.
Yeah, you'll be able to find one. Easy. With that 89%, there's plenty of sizes. I will say, Brina, because the language and where it's from, the books that you find are your size. They're not big books. They're expecting only little people to be grabbing these. So it would be really funny if an actual islander turned up there because they're a lot bigger.
I'm just like hugging my book and like, I like this place. Have books in my language.
And my size.
And they're my size.
Sorry, all I can think about is Thumbelina.
Yes.
I think there's anybody my size out there.
I love that movie. I need to watch that again.
No, it's one of my favorites.
So long. Okay, I have to admit though, the song, one of my favorite songs out of that is actually "Marry the Mole." It is one of my favorite.
Marry them all.
But I love it's the jazzy sound to it is so good. Marry the Mole.
I like the one that the Toads do, the On the Road. Well, apparently the actress who does the singing for Mrs. Toad is like the Mexican equivalent of Dolly Parton. Yeah.
Interesting.
My mom was telling me, I was like, oh, nice. Big names. All right.
Actually, while we're here,
Yes.
is there a Saxon to Latin translation?
There are 29%, yeah. There's a couple of them. Got about a half a shelf.
Or I'll just grab one of those.
Yeah. I'm gonna learn all the languages.
And it's like, this is the second most common language in our group. I might as well.
Saxon to Latin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, good for me to know.
You know, you're not going to be learning any languages just from these dictionaries. You're just going to be learning individual words. You're not going to get all the grammatical stuff, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
it's a
know.
start.
I'm mostly looking for individual words just so I can understand some of the stuff that I'm seeing outside. I'm not looking to learn the whole language.
Alright.
Because honestly, where else are we gonna go that we're gonna be Egyptian?
I will say, just because you're all like kind of glancing through all these books, Brina, there is a huge section of Oceanic to Latin translation books for some reason. I got a 77% for that, so you're also welcome to learn some Latin if you want.
And they're my size.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna grab one of these because that makes. I might know at least a few words. Oh, so cool! Would that be a surprise when I see him next?
Oh, there you go.
No, you wouldn't probably know much Latin. I guess I could surprise Uther. That'd be cool.
He'd appreciate it.
Okay.
All you need to know is Vinny Vici. That's all you got. Okay, my sock conquered.
Waney wee weeky.
Wait.
V's are pronounced as W's.
I know, I was trying to do it, but my stupid flipper was not working. My tongue got stuck.
Alright. Short list or long list first?
Well, once I find the storybooks, you're probably gonna lose me for a while.
Short list it is then.
Alright, so when you say storybooks, are you wanting like lore books? Are you wanting historical novels?
I'm looking for novels, basically. Brina's looking for novels.
Okay.
Because one of the best ways to be able to write is to read.
Yes.
Well,
Rana, as you look at your map, there is an entire wing dedicated to novels. The whole east wing, all floors. And there's like 6 floors.
she'll turn to Erden and say, I think we're gonna lose Brina here.
I was planning on losing myself here.
I don't think you realize the entirety of the East Wing, all 6 floors, is just novels.
Like stories, like
Yes.
fiction.
Yes.
You know, that does fit a few of the things on my list. Actually, can I borrow the Latin one? I mean, is there another map that you can read?
So, is this like separate maps or is it like a booklet?
It's kind of like a pamphlet.
So they're connected.
Yeah.
This is the only one we have, Erden.
I mean,
That's alright, I'll find another one.
Binding. It's not going to be quite as easy as just pulling staples out, but
Yeah, brochure. Brochure.
oh my gosh, what's happening?
Rana, I know you're worried of losing me in the novel section. Do not tie a rope around me like you did to Idea.
I am not, because everyone has their own place, and I can't be in multiple places at the one time.
I mean, you guys, we can get a hold of each other. It's not like, I mean, we can get a hold of each other. I'll be fine. Besides, Eric's list was really long. And I want to make sure that you can help him with the different questions that he has.
Okay, do we want to meet up somewhere? Perhaps that's the entrance, like...
We can meet at the fountain downstairs.
Okay, let's say... 6 hours. We'll check back in. If it's not dark.
Okay.
Okay. I'll try. If I'm not there, just send me a message because I might have gotten lost in the story. But I'll try. Like, I literally see Brina just, like, sitting on the floor in an aisle with, like, books literally just surrounding her.
Around her.
Because this is what I would do. And so, like, she builds herself a little book fort and keeps reading.
Alright, and then she takes Erden to where he's going to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll have Rada like point me in the right direction to get to the East Wing.
Yeah, she'll probably drop off Idea and Tooth where they want to go first, then help Erden.
Mhm.
He had a huge list. And quite frankly, I think his list takes priority over hers.
Actually, I can start right here if that's
Mhm.
convenient.
Yeah, as in.
Dictionaries, thesauruses, and translations.
Okay. I guess everyone's gone off their separate ways.
Yep. Okay. So that. The
I
question
don't
is,
know if I can do this, like, but I don't know about everybody else, but I really need to get heading to bed, and so would it be okay if we stopped?
yeah, because I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna rotate through you all and all that.
And I know, and next week is Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and so Dominic and I aren't available the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Which actually might work because I may still have us play and we can go through their stuff, and then when you guys get back, we can go through your stuff.
Okay.
That way, not everybody's just sitting around listening to other people do their stuff. It might be easier that way.
Okay.
And like Megan, I'll just do Megan like some other time because we live in the same house. So Tooth can do stuff while we're here. And hopefully that'll mean by the time we're all back together, we've finished all of the research and stuff that we want to do.
Mhm.
And then we could start the next phase of the adventure.
Okay.
All right. Well, safe travels to you two.
Thank you.